Hello and welcome to this tutorial on item charges for clients, consignments and auctions. You'll find item charges in System Settings, so let's go straight ahead and add a new item charge. A charge has to have a name. The name shows on client-facing documents and web pages, so keep the name short but descriptive. You can choose a symbol up to 3 characters long. This makes it possible to refer to the charge in places where the full name would take up too much space. You can use special characters, for instance Greek letters, but for the purpose of this video I can use the letters VIP. You can also reference these symbols in your terms and conditions. Here we have to choose whether the target charge is for a buyer or a vendor. So for this video it's a buyer. And system type. So the charge can be anything from a lotting fee to a bespoke photography charge. We'll choose buyer commission. The system then ensures that only one such charge can be applied to a lot. For any bespoke charge you can leave this blank. The value of the charge can be constant, so for instance always charge £25. The hammer bound rate, so charge 20% of the hammer price, or hammer bound table, so you can define intervals. For instance you can charge 20% of the hammer price on lots below 1,000 and 15% above. I'm going to choose hammer bound rate, and now we're being asked to enter that rate. The waive threshold, this allows you to choose an amount that if the hammer is below, the charge is then waived. It also allows what we call a maximum value, which you can set to say you want an amount capped at. This is very useful for things like artist resale rights, where there's a cap on the royalties an artist can receive. But we'll go into more detail on this further along. The minimum value allows you to add a fixed amount. So if you want to set your hammer bound charge to 20% but want it to never be less than £5, then you would enter that here. Accounting codes are used so that the amount charged by a specific type of service can be aggregated. Unless you use Snoofer with the Xero integration, there's usually no need to set this. Then we choose the VAT rate. This will already be set up in System Settings under VAT rate. In the UK, auction houses can account for some of their charges under the auctioneer's margin scheme. Typically your buyer and vendor commissions are eligible for this scheme. This means that VAT won't be applied to the entire hammer price but only to your margin, the commission that you charge to the client. You need to confirm this configuration with your chartered accountant. The is revenue is purely for reporting purposes. So is this charge accounted for as revenue generating, such as a lotting fee or a photography charge, or is it a charge that you pass on to a third party such as CITES? And finally we can set a custom colour and text. You can use this to colour code your charges and make them easy to recognise. For example, vendor charges can be blue while buyer charges are orange. Just feel free to customize these to fit your needs. We do the background first and then the text color contrasting so that it's easy to read, and then create new. If we go to the list of item charges, we can now see our new VIP charge. We can check here that it's all been set up correctly. So that's it, how to add an item charge. Now I'm going to show you how to delete the charge. Bear in mind that an item charge can only be deleted when it is not applied to any items. When a charge is already in use, you can either remove it from all the lots and then delete it, or you can archive the charge instead. Archiving will hide the charge so that admins don't use it in the future, but all existing lots and documents remain unchanged. You also cannot archive a default commission, so anything in bold here will show that it's the default, so they can't be archived. You can archive an item charge under the action drop down, so we edit and click archive. We can see it in the filter, so anything archived is in grey. And to delete a charge, similar thing, and then click delete, click OK, and that item charge has now been deleted. It's useful to be able to search for these charges also as the list gets longer. Instead of having a charge with many possible names, please create multiple charges, as this makes it easier for admins to find, apply and remove, and your reporting will also be more consistent. So as mentioned earlier, I'm now going to show you how to set up the item charge for artist resale rights. So we click Add Item Charge and fill in the form as before, but this time we will make the name of the charge Artist Resale Rights, and it makes sense for the symbol to be ARR. The target is the buyer. System type is Artist Resale Rights. Now for the fun and more complicated part. Because Artist Resale Rights requires specific logic to work, we need to use the hammer-bound table value along with the sliding scale table behaviour. In the case of Artist Resale Rights, the royalty is calculated based on the percentage of the resale value falling into tiers. For example, ARR charges 4% up to £50,000 and 3% for over and up to £200,000, etc., in a similar way that income tax works on the sliding scale system. So from 0 to £50,000, the rate is 4%. And we add a new line, and from £50,001 to 200,000, the rate is 3%, and so forth until the lines are complete. Please be aware that these rates were correct at the time of making this video and may change in the future, so you will need to keep a check on this. So the table behaviour is sliding scale, and then we have the wave threshold. So at the time of making this video, the wave threshold, that's the amount that the royalties kick in from, was £1,000, and the maximum value, so that's the royalties, are capped at 12,500. If you have an accounting code for this charge, you would add it here. We'll just use the default, and the VAT is 0 rated as it does not apply to royalties. Choose no on eligible for margin scheme. Again, VAT does not apply to royalties. We can now choose a colour for the charge. So save changes, and we'll find the new charge here. And we can see the charge reflected in a final invoice. Ultimately though, it is the responsibility of the auction house to familiarise themselves with the artist resale right regulations. Further information is available at the UK Gov website, and two useful sites are dax.org.uk and artistcollectingsociety.org. Both have useful threshold calculators, so you can double check to see if your calculations are correct. Item charges can also be managed from the Edit Item page. You can access these via items within the main navigation menu. So this item has been in an auction and is unsold, so we're reoffering this lot in this sale here. So this is the short name for the sale with the lot number. This is the previous sale with the lot number, and you can see that in the lots list here also. So we've decided to give the seller 0% commission, so we need to go to the previous sale and remove the commission from that lot. Then if we go to item, we can remove that and then select the 0%, add that charge, and then as you can see it hasn't been added to the previously unsold lot, but it has been added to the upcoming lot in this sale. So adding or removing a charge will apply only to the active lots of this item, and each new lot assigned to this item will get these charges. Also, wherever you see this pulsating circle, you can have a tour of different aspects of the snoofer system, so this is quite helpful and they are worth completing. So I hope this has helped to explain item charges. Once again, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.